Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching and listening to Historian Radio, and this is Echoes of the News. And I am Muhammad Hussain Qazi, and these are today's headlines from the past. On this day, the 30th of September, 1791, Mozart's Magic Flute took place in Vienna. This is regarded as one of Mozart's most significant and most important musical performances ever drafted or ever composed. Continuing on this date, in 1929, the first ever rocket powered aircraft was invented by Franz von Opel. And the invention of this rocket powered aircraft would pave the way for the advancement of rocket technology, which would eventually lead to the creation of the spacecraft, which would eventually take man towards space or outer space. Advancing on this date, in 1938, the Peace in Our Time speech was uttered by Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain of the United Kingdom, when he waved a piece of paper in which he claimed he had written confirmation from Mussolini and Hitler that attacks would not take place and more countries would not be invaded. He waved that piece of paper at Heston Airport, declaring that there would be peace in our time, or in his time, or their time. And it is unfortunate and perhaps ironic that on this very date, 1 year later, in 1939, Poland cracked under the onslaught of the Blitzkrieg, launched by Hitler's Germany against Poland. And this would thus lead to one of the biggest global conflicts or global wars, if you will, to have ever taken place in the history of humankind, the Second World War. And on this note, we now advance to the next segment of our show, where we recount the historical births and deaths of notable figures from the 20th and 19th centuries and sometimes earlier. Born on this day in 1908 was David Oistrakh. Forgive me if I have mispronounced his name. David Oistrakh was a Russian virtuoso concert violinist, regarded as one of the most amazing and most skilled violinists of his time. His birth is celebrated by violin fans or violinist aficionados all across the world. And alongside him, in 1788, Lord Raglan, the Earl of Cardigan, was born. He is infamous for being the chief orchestrator of the disastrous charge of the Light Brigade during the Crimean War. And unfortunately, on this date in 1955, James Dean died in a car crash on the way to a motorsport event in which he was due to take part. He died in a car crash while speeding or overspeeding in his favorite Porsche. His death was mourned by many, many Hollywood fans, not just in his time, but is still mourned to this date. James Dean, unfortunately, having only 3 films to his credit, died at the age of just 24 years old. And it is on this unfortunate note that we now conclude our headlines for the day. This was Historian Radio's Echoes of the News, and I am Muhammad Hussain Qazi, and these are today's headlines as history first heard them. Good night.